Okay. Does anybody know if this is on the internet? I haven't seen the worker here. Oh, there he is. Hi, Jehu. Okay. Thank you. All right. My Tammy is good having you here from like North Carolina or somewhere. All right. So you went on a mission trip. Where did you go? Yeah. Oh, you're going to go to Norway? Good to be on that mission trip with Abhishek and Pastor Toll in Oslo. Beautiful. That's good. Are you going with Karen Pivac? Okay, that's how I knew it. Yeah, I think she told it to me. All right, so I have a little story here that I want to use for our devotional thought today. How many of you heard that verse? It's actually three times in Isaiah. There is no peace, save the Lord, unto the wicked, but are like mire that casts up mire from the bottom of the sea, right? You know that verse? Let's look for it. Let's try Isaiah 57. Yeah, the end of 57. First of all, verse 19, I create the fruit of the lips. Peace, peace to him that is far off, and to him that is near, saith the Lord, and I will heal him. Point number one, let's start on a positive. Point number one, peace. Peace. Do you love it? I love peace. Do you have it? Peace. Peace in your heart. Do you have fear? No. I have peace. Do you have anxiety? No. We have peace. Isn't that beautiful? He's the Prince of Peace. The peace like a river. The righteousness like the waves of the sea. The peace of God passes understanding. Wow, what a gift that is. I think out of all of the things about God, the blessing of being with God is that he gives to us peace. Remember Jesus, peace, peace be unto you after his resurrection. Yeah, the peace of God. The world doesn't have it. The world has a system, has a demonic, diabolical diabolicus cosmos, the cosmo creator, the world ruler, is it was mentioned in 1 John 5. The world lies in wickedness. Okay, so there it is. So here it is, verse 20. But the wicked are not like. No, the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith my God, to the wicked. Now the piece I want to read, the day, this is in India, off the shores of India, the day after the cyclone Taukte hit the city, many of Mumbai's beaches were littered with trash that had washed ashore from the sea. Over 62,000 kilograms of garbage had to be removed, which was about 80% more than the amount of garbage removed from the beach just a few days earlier. The sea was merely throwing out the garbage that we had dumped into it. The storms and cyclones of life reveal our character, and sometimes we can be shocked at the garbage we are capable of saying or doing when put to the test. Perhaps the solution is to be careful of what goes into our hearts in the first place. Okay, so that's it. That's simple. And I think I could ask Pastor Steve Androlonis to come up and finish the message. Second thought, I don't think he has anything to say about it that's better than what I have to say about it. No, I think you could. You could. Okay. Let me repeat it. Okay. To the old guys in the back, can you hear me? Okay. Turn the hearing aids up. Okay. So let me repeat it. When Christ comes into our hearts, we have peace because he doesn't accuse us. He is not about judging us. He is loving us. There is no condemnation in him. Peace, peace, he says to us. Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more, to the woman taken in adultery. But we do bury things, and sometimes when we are troubled, we may bury them just like the garbage in the sea off the shores of Mumbai in India. The woman who wrote this is Schaller, who's a disciple in India in the church, the Greater Grace Church there. And she wrote this book called Perspectives. And she takes these little things in news and science and so on and writes these little devotional thoughts on it. So I like that. This is a good one. Like this, the storm out to sea stirred up what was in the sea and dumped it on the beach. Okay. And so you have to be careful of how you process things in life. And you bring them to the service and bring them before God, and God will deal with them. He will give us grace. He will forgive us. He will help us resolve those things in our hearts that trouble us. Let us forgive each other. Let us not bury our things in our own subconscious mind and in our own hearts. Bury them somewhere where a storm will come up later and dump it on the beach, so to speak. And say, where'd that come from? Well, that came from something I buried. So how do you do it? I think the life with God, walking with God and bringing it out before God is a great way with dealing with our things. With our fears, our jealousies, our appetites that are out of control. And may the Spirit of God lead us and govern us in our hearts and lives. That we would love people, that we would actually be surprised how I could have an attitude about somebody, but actually I love them. And then that just comes out of your heart when you see them, that you actually love them. Do you know what happened to me on Saturday? We went to outreach in Annapolis, Maryland, and the city was pretty full of tourists and people, okay? So the street was pretty crowded. We were handing out tracts for salvation. So I'm walking in the street. You know how when there's a lot of people around you, you're kind of looking at where you're going a little bit, not far ahead because there's just a lot of people. So I'm walking looking down, and then right about here, I look up, and there's a person here. And guess who that person was? My niece, who lives in New Hampshire. We literally, just looked, she looked up, and I go, Elizabeth, and she goes, Uncle Tom. So, that was so cool, and we hugged each other and loved each other because even though we haven't seen each other for years, but I guess all I mean is how we think about each other and how we relate to each other may be decided long before, or even if we never see each other, but the attitude that you have in your heart about people is something that God gives you because you live a life, not the life of the wicked, but the life of the, what is it called? The people that I create the fruit of the lips, peace, peace to him that is far off and to him that is near, saith the Lord, and I will heal him. Okay. Pastor Steve, did you have something you want to share? Here he comes. Give him a hand. The garbage man himself. No. I used the wrong word. The righteous man himself.
Sorry. What was he asking about? What did Pam could tell me? What am I supposed to talk about?
It was the story about a cyclone in the Indian Sea.
Oh.
Stirred up garbage from
Oh.
underneath the sea and dumped it on the
Oh,
Mumbai
well, that's.
beaches.
Oh, okay. Okay. It dumped it. Oh, yeah. I have a. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I was chewing. Okay. No, I actually have a. I have a backpack that there's a company that takes the refuge, the plastic refuge from Indian beaches and makes backpacks. It's called Soul Guard. It's like, I think it's about, be careful because the company's sort of on that, it's good company. I'm not going to say anything else because it's on the internet, but I really like the backpack and actually, but anyway, but that's, the trash that was churned up from the sea and came on the beaches, they collect the plastic and they recycle it for these bags. So anyway, they make different things. But when I think of that picture, I go to Proverbs 27, and there's a passage that starts about friendship. Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Um, he who cares for the fruit tree, reaps the benefit of what the fruit tree produces. And then the last, I think it's Proverbs 27:19. It says, "As face answers to face, as you look into water, so face answers to face. Like you can look into a pool of water and see your face." And I always look at that like 3 points. There is like. One, there are parts of ourself that are iron that God gifts different people, and that the sooner you, especially in a marriage, the sooner you realize that there are certain things in people that are not going to change. They're non-negotiable things about their character, and some have been decided because of the way they've chosen their convictions. Other are just the kind of DNA that's in them, so they have certain kind of whatever it is, genetical. I guess these are genetical benefits than curses, but some people are just, they're firm and everything like that. So the sooner you get that understanding, and then the other part, the fig tree, it needs to be served in a certain way. I think of that passage that Jesus said there was a tree that didn't bear fruit, and the servant said, "Let me manure it for a little bit longer, for another year, and then before you cut it down." It's like, so you serve and you get something out of it. But then this third part is like the other thing, the water, like beneath a pond of water, there's a lot of things in the background. Like when you're looking at a person's face, you don't know what they have in the background, and some things could churn up some bad memories, that way, and it could come out, like the. So I think that's like when we meet somebody, there's some lingering things like behind every face there is like a lot of history, and we look at the face and we see eyes, we see nose, we see mouth, but maybe it's a little blurry in a pond, and then below there might be a boot, there might be an old car that got sunk to the bottom of the thing, there might be who knows what's down there. There might be eels and crabs, and all the crabs, delicious crabs, might be down there, but if, maybe you wouldn't think crabs are so delicious if you knew that their character was there. But I think that when you said the stirring up of, stirring up some things, like people get, life stirs them up, and then things come flying back from what's buried in their past and everything, and so that's the way I sort of, just a brief take on that kind of thing. I've thought about that, but anyway, I don't know. Any other questions about that? You have that, but it's interesting, I heard something this morning that's really, I think, significant to say, that I got to realize that I am so lost that Jesus had to die for me, and I am also so loved that Jesus had to die for me. It's like they're both true, and I can never. It was a little teaching I was listening to on like the telephone pole that is in my own eye is not just like a 2x4. Like if I'm trying to get a speck out of your eye, I should realize that there's a telephone pole in my eye before I even try to like fix you. Physician, heal yourself, fix yourself before you're trying to know. There's a lot of, that kind of thing, just how lost I am. We're all like broken, so broken, and don't really realize it, and the only way really to get beyond that and have any kind of the only way to get behind that is to realize that I have very little control of anything beyond the space that my heart takes up inside of me. And that that's really like the primary work that I have to do. I don't read the Bible for other people. I read the Bible for myself. I'm so thankful for the Psalms, that the Psalms give me words that I can say about the way I'm feeling just about every day. Maybe you're finding that too. It's like I prayed a lot of prayers straight from the Bible. Lord, if you could make this happen, it would be really awesome. I have some people in mind that I'd like you to do this to, but I know that you are merciful and that I need to understand your mercy, and that you may do something way beyond what I could ask or think according to your purposes. But I'm really glad that you're giving me words that I'm actually thinking right now. I don't know. You could go look it through the Psalms, just read through the Psalms. You'll find something that that you might. So I'm really grateful for that. But that's just like my own, just feeling that. Then just like reading the Proverbs like day by day. I just like that's how much could be a great, just that would fix everything. People just live by Proverbs. Didn't matter whether they believed in Jesus or not. People just live by Proverbs. Everything would be fixed. In a certain way. It's like just such basic information for life, how to treat your neighbor, how not to sleep too long. Wine is a mocker and strong drink makes you a rager. Wow. That's true. That's true. It's true. You can ask the police, like when you show up at a domestic argument, how many times is strong drink involved in it? Probably or like stronger drugs. It's probably 9 times out of 10, right? Strong drink is raging. You should know that. Wine is a mocker. It laughs at you. It's like, yeah, you took just a little taste. It's like, wow. And you wonder why you're being stupid, and then you what's the end of that whole passage? At the end of it, it said, and they wake up, oh, I want another drink. It's like it mocks you so much that it keeps you going back for more. It's like, I don't know. Sorry. You set me loose. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Any question or comment? I like the part where you said maybe something might come, from my past. What are those articles of like garbage that goes up on the shore, but unforgiveness, resentment, that's from my past, or, some kind of bitterness towards maybe some person that bothers me in my mind or conscience, and that troubles me, and I get fixed on it. I have another little piece here called "Let It Go," which is was not what I shared, but I could do that now. Like "Let It Go." Okay, it's called "Letting Go." Author unknown. To let go. Like now, I wonder what the context. What does it mean? Let go. I think it has to do with something that you just can't forgive, or some manipulation that you use as a technique with another person. Like I manipulate that person and I can't let it go. Like, I don't want that person to go. I might be possessive. I don't want it to go. I got hurt, and I'm not going to let it go. I'm not letting it go. You follow the context? So it says to let go doesn't mean to stop caring. It means I can't do it for someone else. To let go is not to cut myself off. It's a realization that I don't control another. Let's say a dad with his son, like he raises his son, and then there's a time he has to let him go because he can't control him, and he can't control his son's decisions. To let go is not to enable, but to allow learning from natural consequences. Sounds like an educational. To let go is to admit powerlessness, which means the outcome is not in my hands. That's like manipulating or controlling somebody like too much. And I think when you raise children, when they're 5 years old, you have to really care for them. When they're 7 and 10 and 12 and 16 and 18, it changes. Like children change in how much you let them go. Like I remember reading a story of C.S. Lewis, I think, wrote about love. The mother loved her child so much she would never let her child ride a horse. But I mean, like, okay, how long are you going to do that? Is your child ever going to be able to ride a horse? No, I'm afraid they'll get hurt. It's like, okay, is that when they're 20 years old? You wouldn't allow that? I mean, you can't. You are controlling an adult. You're controlling a child in the wrong way, That's like, so, this doesn't relate so much to the, but it does show that there's a lot of things that we process in our minds that are problems for us. And the reason why people don't have peace, often in life they don't have peace, they have anxiety and fear, it's because they can't let things go. Like worship God and relate to each other in love and in wisdom, right? To let go is not to care for, but to care about. To let go is not to fix. By the way, when your parents get elderly, now you got to come back into another role because you have to care more for them. And if you don't care, you're not caring, then that's not love. But to care is to, but that's not through, you let your parents go and your parents let you go, and your friends, you let them go. You don't manipulate people. You don't try to control them, but you let them go, and you hold them in high regard in your heart and in your prayer and in your love. And body life is like that. Body life is where you can come and go. The door is a rotating door, revolving door with a high ceiling, and people can come in and they can go out, and you have your own private life. But you come to be ministered to, because we are made not to be alone, but we are made to be like with each other. Okay, amen.